A habit is a psychological disposition to repeat past behaviour, tending to occur subconsciously. Most researchers can agree that habits originate in goal pursuit, provided that people are likely to repeat actions that are rewarding or provide some sort of desirable outcome. A bad habit is an undesirable behaviour pattern, such as procrastination, fidgeting, overspending, nail biting, and smoking. However, habits can also be good and promote beneficial behaviour, like regular exercise and healthy eating. We often perform a similar action for different reasons, either to achieve a particular goal at that moment, or because this action has been routinely reinforced and is now habitual.
The neural mechanisms underlying the shift between the two behavioral strategies remain elusive, but the main regions involved are the dorsomedial striatum, which is necessary for goal-directed actions, and the dorsolateral striatum, which dictates habitual actions. We know that the balance between habits and goal-directed behavior is impaired in diseases in which the orbital frontal cortex is dysfunctional, such as obsessive-compulsive disorder. Our experiment was set up to demonstrate a novel instrumental task where the same mouse would shift between performing a rewarded action using either a goal-directed or habitual strategy. We found that DMS lesion mice always showed habitual behaviors, and DLS lesions showed goal-directed actions. Most importantly, we found that chemogenetic inhibition of OFC disrupts goal-directed actions, whereas optogenetic activation of OFC specifically increases goal-directed pressing. These findings are important for understanding the execution of and the transition between goal-directed and habitual actions necessary for daily life, which are seemingly impaired in addiction and other decision-making disorders.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anne Grabiel from the McGovern Institute at MIT.
Habits are a pervasive part of everyday life and often contradict each other. Our optogenetic research in mice investigated the relationship between the medial prefrontal cortex, akin to the infralimbic system in rodents, in mediating competing old and new habits, like establishing an exercise regime despite a habit of unhealthy eating behaviour. We found that mice illuminated with a light-sensitive protein, blocking their infralimbic cortex, revert from habitual to outcome-based behaviours, implicating this region specifically in the maintenance of habitual behaviour.
So we studied the ability of habits to improve as well as derail goal pursuit when we have limited willpower. So we found that when willpower is lower, such as during exam time, self-control is lowered, and this increases the performance of both good and bad habits. But when willpower is higher, like during non-exam periods, we have a variety of modes of regulation available to us. And we also found that this was triggered by contextual cues, which acquire diffuse motivational value when they have preceded rewards in the past.
If we could draw your attention back to the habit circuitry outlined earlier in the video, we will use this to show you how habit research applies to obsessive disorders, namely OCD. This is a normal synapse. Notice the level of inhibition of PV interneurons on medium spiny neurons. These conditions produce a normal balance between habitual and goal-directed behaviour. Now notice the lack of inhibition in OCD conditions. This has been implicated as the cause of repetitive habitual behaviour. Isolating mechanisms in this way could be groundbreaking for the treatments of mental illness. Here are a few tips to help you make or break that habit. 1. When trying to form a new habit, make time for it. Schedule it into your day and maybe do it with something else, like brushing and flossing your teeth together. 2. Start now. It's as good a time as any to make those changes. 3. Have patience with yourself. Some habits are much harder to combat or incorporate into your life. There is no exact amount of time that guarantees a habit be broken or formed. 4. Don't feel guilty if you slip up every now and again. Just move on and keep trying.